The Grand Theft Auto 6 mapping community has been accurately updating ever since around the end of 2022. And as you know, I've been following them closely, giving you updates anytime there's something new to talk about. But this time I want to check out some other maps that people made based on what they know about GTA 6. And there's a lot of speculation in here, but also findings that other maps don't have. So I just want to go through these maps and see what other people have made, because they are really amazing. So the first one is by 6's, and I love how they put the Bahamas, or the pajamas in this case, also in this map. And this kind of looks like Italy, but turned 90 degrees with with a little foot. But yeah, this looks very nice. There's the Bermuda Triangle right here, which is the Permian Triangle in the GTA world. I don't know if that's a confirmed name or just made up, but very nice. And we have places here like St. Nicholas, Fenchton, Bayville with a airport right there. We have another airport, which is the the way I even say this, just this airport. You can say it out loud if you want. And this is the Merco Village, which I don't know why it's a village, because it's the biggest one out of all of them, but looking very nice. And then above here we have the Permian Isles, which is also very cool. Love this, love this. Then we have here a island, which is the Donald Love Island, which is crazy. If you know, you know. Somebody explain it in the comments. But if you know, you know. That's wild, bruh. And we haven't even talked about the state of Leonida. So this one is actually super detailed, man. We have the Gator Key, which is also the sundown place. We have this naval air station, which is going to be the military base where you steal the fighter jets and tanks. Of course, you have the Leonida Keys here. You have Hamlet, which in this version of the map is actually attached to Vice City. That's something you don't see in the other maps. And then we have all these places labeled. You know, the Virgin Key, we have Shark Island, Port Vice City, Bayside, Brickview Key. Of course, we have Rock Ridge and Little Haiti, Stockyard as well, and Washington Beach. And then here we have Waning Sands as well, with North Point Mall and Peanut Island, which is mentioned in the leaks as well. Of course, we have Lake Leonida, we have Le Perle, well, this is Ambrosia. So Le Perle is here somewhere in Vice City. Then we have Port Gellhorn with the airfield and raceway, and we have Cape Coral with the dome houses right here. Very cool. And then this, of course, is Port Gellhorn in its bigness. I really wonder how big Port Gellhorn really is going to be. Do you think it's going to be as big as this, or the port is just going to be a small place? Let me know in the comments below. We have Bohemia, which is another little 2022 clip name with Sundown. And people originally thought, as I said, that Sundown was this right here, but Sonaris actually thinks that Sundown is at the top left, which is interesting. And we have Backtown, Red Hill Peaks, the United Canyons, which we know is the Mount Caliga National Park. And then we have the Northside Manor, and here is actually where Ambrosia is in this version of the map. So very interesting how they did this. So we have the Ambrosia farmlands, as we know from the screenshots, of course. Then we have another raceway of Ambrosia. We have Foria, which is this little town. Fort Lucia, which I don't know if that's going to be a real thing, but looks nice. Then we have the Sarah Station, which I talked about, is the NASA parody. And then we have the Coral Air Base and Sea View, which is a cool little town. So really beautiful and very detailed map. Really cool. And we have this map right here by Brum Burgers. And you can see that every block is about half a kilometer. And he has also a couple of counties in there. Counties are just larger parts of the map that include different cities and areas. So here you have Kelly County, and above here you have the Panhandle with Mount Caliga National Park. Then down here you have Port Gellhorn with a pretty neat design of where all the buildings are, and a pretty detailed idea of what these little islands will look like. Now the thing about Port Gellhorn, and we will see this in later maps, is that it's much more than just this green nothingness, because this is also part of Port Gellhorn. So there's a lot more to see right there, which we'll get to in later maps. Here is Ambrosia, and this map is obviously based on everything that's confirmed already and not a lot of speculation. And then we have this beautiful Vice City with a lot of accurate buildings right here. So this dude really has just looked at what is confirmed and he made it into a beautiful different design right here. Also all these buildings looking very nice. So a little bit of a beautiful little design. The next one is a crazy big one, as you can see. This is from Corey Harris, as you can see right here. And this dude has GTA 5's Los Santos in here as well. And as you can see, man, this thing fits almost like 4 times into the GTA 6 map. And this is a very cool one to look at. So we start here with this allegedly Sundown. I know that from the top of my head that this is called Sundown. And then you have, of course, Leonida Key. And then you have a different island right here. And Vice City is super big in this part of this particular map. And of course, here you also have the Grass Rivers, which is right here, this area. And then here you have the airport, and it goes to this different airport right here. And this is supposed to be Port Gellhorn, I think. Or maybe this is a different city. I think that this is Port Gellhorn right here. Maybe it's all Port Gellhorn. So looking really nice. And then you have these squares, which are the fields of, for example, Ambrosia, where they farm a lot of crop. You have another little airport, I think. And then above here, you have more airports. You have this little city here. I think this is like the parody of NASA, the Sora little place where they have all the rocket launches right there. And on the top left, you have some more farmlands and a really small city right here, which is very cool. So this map is very dope. In the middle, you have probably Mount Caliga. And yeah, it looks amazing, man. Absolutely great. How creative these guys are making these types of maps. Now the next one, this guy actually drew the map. He actually made a whole drawing. So he put a drawing of the GTA 5 map in here, and this is not fake, this is actually real. He even put the GTA 6 in Rage units, which is the engine that GTA 6 works on. Because of the 2022 clips that were leaked, we now have the actual lengths of the map, and that's how we can compare it to the GTA 5 map. And you can see they have Leonida in here. You have Vice City on the right with even the airport. You have some mountains right here. This is where Port Gellhorn is supposed to be. You have Lake Leonida here. You even have the Panhandle and some additional city areas. It's absolutely insane how this guy has been drawing this up. And he even put like this blue kind of sea area just around everything. Man, this dude has been working hard on this. He's had a boring couple of hours at school probably, and he's just been drawing this map. Absolutely crazy. And yeah, kudos to this guy for just making it actually analog instead of a digital map. This dude, by the way, is called got the new Xbox before GTA 6. So that's his username on the Discord mapping community. So the next one is also very nice. It's actually the satellite version of GTA 6, and it's made by Hipsol, as you can see. And it has some other places from the 2022 clips. So they have Bohemia in here, and also a Panhandle. They have St. Joseph also in here, Ambrosia. And this is all based on the real life satellite images that correspond with the places that are based on the real life places in GTA 6. So you have Red Hill as well as Yorktown and Port Gellhorn, Lake Leonida, of course, Vice City right here, Hamlet and the Grass Rivers, and then the Gator Keys and Sundown. Absolutely amazing how this dude has just put on real satellite images. It's crazy, man. The next one is also interesting. It's by J Star, and he put the counties of Leonida, of course speculative, all in one place. So counties are just the larger kind of provinces, I guess. The Leonida Keys and the Grass Rivers are a part of County Mariana. Then we also have Vice Dale, which is Vice City. Leonard, which is kind of the upper part of Vice City. Of course, Ambrosia. They have Astro. Astro is obviously based on the fact that kind of at this part of the map, there should be a NASA parody. Then you have Red Hill and State of Gloriana, which is, of course, based on Georgia. And we don't know if it's going to be part of the Panhandle or actually a bigger map. And then you have Count Kelly as well. So looking really nice. And I think this is kind of about accurate. There's probably some names that we haven't heard of yet. So that's why they put Astro Castro in there and those type of names. But yeah, very cool. Then we have Les Îles map, and this is also kind of a speculative one. This is the first one where there is kind of a border right here, because most maps, they are an island, but this map doesn't want to be an island. They have the borders, and they speculate that there is gonna be a map expansion later on. So this is more of a simplistic one, because here is supposed to be Mount Calaga, and of course the Lake Leonida, Vice City, and all the other places are kind of in the same spot. And you can have a good idea of where all the roads are connecting to when it comes to the cities being attached to each other. So really nice. And then there is this island right here as well, maybe representing the Bermuda Triangle. Then the next one we have Mathis Leonida Satellite Map V2, and this one is a little bit low resolution, but you can see how crazy this is. He literally Frankensteined everything together to look like the GTA 6 map, but it's actually the real life version of every city and every place from GTA 6. So you can see that there is a whole town right here under Port Gellhorn that we haven't seen yet. So very nice, man. Very nice. Also like this little place. We have here the Ambrosia farmlands, which is absolutely dope. And then above here, he kind of put Gloriana above there, so that it's not really an island, but it's also not really not an island, if you know what I mean. Very nice map. And I see here, like, I think I got the name wrong, but it's Silly with contributions from Rick. Very nice. Based on a Dubzor map, of course, using GIMP and Google Earth. Now the next one is, I think, a heavily speculated map. It's also a little bit of low resolution. A lot of these maps I try to get the high resolutions, but most of these people don't have them, so I cannot really zoom in that much as the official map, which is super high res. But again, you can see that there's a lot of speculative ideas about Port Gellhorn being super big and the upper parts of the map as well. And you can see already that there's a lot of Vice City expansion. There's a lot of farmlands here in Ambrosia, and Leonida Keys look a little bit different. These islands go down a little, so that's very nice. I really like this mapping concept. Also, the Mount Calaga National Park is really nice, and then this little area with the whole new city here would be dope as well. And a lot of people are kind of thinking that there's gonna be an airport right there with the NASA base. Then we have the map, and we have this map right here, also a very cool one, just a little bit different than all the other ones. And you can see that the airports in this one are giant, which is probably based on the Vice City airport, because the mapping community thinks that the Vice City airport is going to be very big. You see all these giant airports and air bases right here. Very beautiful, very big Port Gellhorn edition here, which has 2 airports right there. Crazy. And then of course the Mount Calaga area, Lake Leonida, Ambrosia, Vice City, and of course the grass rivers with the Leonida Keys. And sundown is going up in this part of the map, also made by Sonaris, so that's why these two look so much alike. He makes a lot of these map versions. So that were all the mapping projects, speculative maps that I found the most interesting for this video. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know which one you think is the dopest and why. Thank you Rolfcore for being my one and only member at the moment. If you want to be a member, consider doing so. It's now also available to do easily on the iPhone if you want to. You can support me and my channel. If not, that's totally okay too. But in both cases, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.